The Riddle of Lady Amara. In the great kingdom of Mitilor, there lived a young sage named Mahasada, the wisest advisor of King Vaideha. Though only 16 years old, his brilliance had already solved countless problems and riddles that had stumped the kingdom's greatest scholars. One day, the king said to him, "Mahasada, a wise man needs a wise partner. It is time you found a wife worthy of your remarkable mind." Mahasada set out on a journey through the kingdom, hoping to find a woman whose wisdom matched his own. He traveled through bustling towns and quiet villages, asking clever questions wherever he went. Many women he met were kind and beautiful, but none could match his wit. Days turned into weeks, and still his search continued. Then one afternoon, as Mahasada walked along a quiet country road, he saw a young woman carrying a basket of flowers on her head. She was beautiful, with jasmine flowers woven into her long dark hair, and she walked with quiet grace. But what caught Mahasada's attention was her eyes. They sparkled with a sharp and lively intelligence. Their gazes met, and in that moment, both knew they had found someone special. Mahasada decided to test the woman's wisdom. He asked her a clever riddle. "Tell me, what road leads to your home?" Instead of simply pointing the way, the woman smiled mysteriously and answered in a riddle of her own. "Pass the cake shop and the gruel cellar, find the tree with double leaves in bloom. Take the path of the giving hand, not the hand that does not give. That is the secret road to my village." Mahasada's heart leaped. She had spoken in a code that only a truly wise mind could create. Mahasada quickly solved the riddle. The giving hand meant the right hand, so he should turn right at the tree. He followed her directions perfectly, passing a cake shop, then a gruel seller's stall, until he found a magnificent tree with double-petaled flowers in full bloom. At the tree, he turned right and soon arrived at a peaceful little village called Barley Market. There, he found the house of the wise young woman. The young woman's name was Amara, and when Mahasada arrived at her doorstep, her father welcomed him warmly. "You solved my daughter's riddle," the old man said with delight. "No one else has ever found their way here through her puzzle." Amara appeared at the door with a gentle smile. "I have been waiting for someone wise enough to follow my riddle," she said. "Most people simply ask for directions. You understood that wisdom speaks in many ways." Mahasada and Amara spent the evening exchanging more riddles and sharing stories of their cleverness. Each puzzle one posed, the other solved with ease and laughter. They discovered that together, their wisdom was even greater than apart. Mahasada knew then that he had found not just a wife, but a true partner, someone whose mind danced as nimbly as his own. Mahasada returned to King Vaideha's court with Amara at his side, and the king was overjoyed. "I see wisdom shining in her eyes as brightly as it shines in yours," the king declared. A grand celebration was held for their wedding, with music, dancing, and feasting throughout the kingdom. And from that day on, Mahasada and Amara worked together as the kingdom's wisest pair, proving that the greatest wisdom is found when two clever minds join as one. Moral: the greatest partnerships are built on shared wisdom and mutual respect. The deer who skipped his lessons. In the deep green forests of ancient India, there lived a wise and mighty stag who was the Bodhisattva, the leader of a great deer herd. He was known throughout the forest for his wisdom and his knowledge of every trick a deer must learn to survive. One day, his sister Karadia came to him with her young son. "Dear brother," she said gently, "please teach my boy the ruses of the deer, the tricks that will save his life from hunters and snares." The wise uncle looked at the eager young stag and agreed. The wise uncle prepared a clearing in the forest where he would teach his nephew the arts of survival. He waited patiently at the appointed time, ready to share the wisdom of generations. But the young deer never came. Not on the first day. Not on the second. Not on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh day. 7 times the uncle waited faithfully, and 7 times the clearing stood empty. The old stag shook his great antlers sadly, for he knew what would come of such neglect. While his uncle waited faithfully, the young nephew roamed the forest without a care in the world. He leaped over streams and chased butterflies, prancing about with his small antlers held high. "Why do I need lessons?" he boasted to the other young deer. "Look at my 8 hoofs, I can run faster than any hunter." And see my growing antlers, no snare can hold me. My uncle worries too much. I am already clever enough. And so he played on, day after day, learning nothing at all. Then came the day the young deer feared most but never prepared for. Wandering carelessly through an unfamiliar part of the forest, the nephew stepped right into a hunter's snare. The cruel rope tightened around his leg like a serpent. He thrashed and kicked with all his strength, but his untrained hoofs did not know how to twist free. His small antlers caught in the branches above. He cried out in terror, but none of his boasting could save him now. The forest that had been his playground had become his prison. Word of the young deer's capture reached his mother Karadia, and she rushed through the forest in anguish. She found her brother the wise Uncle Stag and cried out with tears in her eyes, "Brother, was not your nephew taught the ruses of the deer? How could this happen to my son?" Her voice trembled with grief and desperation as she pleaded for him to help save her child from the hunter's snare. The wise Uncle Stag looked at his sister with deep sadness in his golden eyes. "Karadia," he said slowly, his voice heavy with sorrow, "your son had 8 hoofs to run with, and branching antlers to fight with. And I gave him not 1, not 2, but 7 chances to come and learn the tricks that would save his life. 7 days I waited, and 7 days he chose to play instead. I can teach him no more." In the distance, the hunter approached the struggling young deer with his spear raised, and the fate of the untrained nephew was sealed. The wise Uncle Stag gathered the herd together and shared the painful lesson with all the deer of the forest. "Remember this story, young ones," he said, standing beside his grieving sister Karadia. "My nephew had every gift he needed to survive: strong legs, sharp antlers, and a wise teacher willing to guide him. But he threw it all away through laziness and pride. Those who refuse to heed wise counsel bring ruin upon themselves. No one can save you from the consequences of your own neglect." The forest fell silent, and every young deer understood that the greatest danger is not the hunter's snare, but the arrogance of believing you have nothing left to learn. Moral: those who refuse to heed wise counsel bring ruin upon themselves. The Jackal and the Golden Geese. High on a golden mountain called Sitakuta, there lived 2 magnificent golden geese named Savannah and Hemala. Their feathers shimmered like sunlight on water, and they were known throughout the land for their gentle wisdom and kind hearts. Every full moon, the 2 golden geese would fly down from their mountain to visit a great banyan tree in the forest below. For inside this ancient tree lived a magical spirit named Body, who glowed with a gentle green-gold light. The 3 friends would talk for hours about kindness, wisdom, and the beauty of the world. Their conversations were truly special. Body's voice was like a gentle breeze through leaves, and the geese spoke with the clarity of mountain streams. Together they shared ancient teachings about compassion and inner peace. A soft golden glow surrounded them whenever they spoke, filling the forest with warmth and light. Now, in the bushes below the great tree, there lived a scruffy jackal named Dirta. He was sly and cunning, always looking for ways to seem more important than he really was. One moonlit night, he heard the beautiful conversation drifting down from the tree and crept closer to listen. Dirta the jackal was amazed by the wise words he heard. He thought to himself, "If I join their conversation, everyone will think I am wise too." So with a puffed-up chest and a proud strut, he marched right up to the base of the tree and called out loudly, "Hello up there. I am Dirta, a great thinker. Let me join your wise discussion." The 2 golden geese looked at each other in surprise. Dirta continued boasting, "I know all about wisdom. I have traveled far and wide. Surely a great mind like mine belongs in your company." But his words were empty and loud, nothing like the gentle truth the friends had been sharing. The golden glow around the tree began to flicker and fade. Savannah the golden goose spoke sadly, "Dear friend, true wisdom speaks softly, not with empty boasts." But Dirta only talked louder, interrupting and bragging even more. The peaceful magic of their sacred friendship was broken. Hemala whispered to Savannah, "We cannot share our hearts where there is no humility." With heavy hearts, the 2 golden geese spread their magnificent wings and flew away into the moonlit sky, back toward their golden mountain. The jackal watched them go, confused. "Wait, where are you going? Don't you want to hear my wisdom?" he called. But the geese were already gone, their golden feathers disappearing among the stars. Then the wise tree spirit body spoke to the jackal. Dirta, golden words belong between golden hearts. The geese were pure in body, speech, and spirit. You came not to learn, but to boast. True wisdom requires humility. You cannot force your way into the company of the wise by shouting loudly. The jackal hung his head in shame. From that night on, the golden geese never returned to the great tree. Dirta realized too late that his boasting had driven away the most beautiful friendship in the forest. Body the tree spirit whispered one last lesson into the night wind: choose your words wisely and your company humbly. For the truly wise are drawn to those who listen, not those who shout. Moral: true wisdom is found in humility and listening, not in boasting and shouting.